Ever thought that some shows just are not fully formed yet? That the ideas are there, but they need to be rebooted, revamped, and made a little bit more gritty? Well, you're in the right place because this week we're doing a gritty reboot of Paw Patrol all week on My Sketchy Habit. Hello, my name's Patrick, I'm an artist, and this is My Sketchy Habit, a place where we draw every day and we don't have to be ashamed. Look, I am like you. I draw pictures, I make things out of art, and sometimes I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel good about what I made, and that sucks. Because the truth is that art is a process whereby you do a lot more than just make a thing. You feel good, you do all sorts of stuff. There's benefits there, trust me, they're there. And so I made My Sketchy Habit as an opportunity to just draw without any inhibition. It can be good, it can be bad, it can be weird, it can be wild. It's art and it's good for you, so we draw every day. You don't have to be ashamed. Speaking of which, we have an art gallery where I want to share your art. There's a link down below to the Discord. It's the Doodle Croodle. Can you join the Doodle Croodle and share what you doodle? Doodle do? I don't know. Anyways, here in the art gallery, we like to share your art. Join the Discord as a way of sharing that art. All you have to do is join, share it in the Share Your Art section, and I'll put it here on the screen. I have a picture from my prompt at the end of last week. Last week's last prompt was crustacean. I don't remember what it was. Oh no. I will put it on screen now. Something commute, like crustacean commute, maybe? Here it is. This is what I made. And yeah, I cannot wait to see your art. We have another art prompt for us today. We're going to be doing some vibes this week. Just one word prompts to inspire you to draw something or anything. And it should be pretty great. We'll show you at the end of the video. For now, this week, we are doing the gritty reboot of Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol, be there on the double. But what if we took it and moved it 20 years into the future, where the pups have grown up and the city of Adventure Bay have been changed? Well, let's find out as we work on Chase the Grizzled Detective. All right, we are getting started with our Paw Patrol with Chase. Chase is a police officer dog, and in our gritty reboot, I figured he should be a disgraced detective kicked off the force. So you can see here, I'm starting to build out a pose, something dramatic, something that captures that sort of running from the law, private investigator vibes. You can see this sort of leg kicked up. There was a big discussion at the beginning of this project, really around the idea of should they be dogs, like they are pups, or should they be sort of anthropomorphized human-dog hybrids? And I went with the human-dog hybrid. Now, I don't know if that's the right choice, but it's the choice I made, and, you know, I can't change that now. I do like the way they all turned out. So they got dog heads on human bodies, more or less, and I think it's super fun and cool. You can see here, we're building out the pose. The pose is such a critical part of this, and we really get into the nitty-gritty of, like, a messy sketch. It's not so much about being perfect when you're sketching, it's more about getting things together. And in fact, we're entirely redrawing big portions of this because to get the pose right is all that matters. Have you watched a lot of Paw Patrol? I watched a lot with my nieces and my nephews over the years, and in that time, I spent a lot of time thinking about the Paw Patrol. I had a lot of questions about how it works, and this gritty reboot is the heart and soul of my digression into the world of Paw Patrol. And it all starts here with Chase. I think that Chase may have realized that the town of Adventure Bay is essentially entirely corrupt, that the services of Adventure Bay are being provided by a boy and 5 dogs, 6 dogs, 7 dogs, I don't know, a bunch of dogs. And that's not how to run a city. You know, you should not have police and fire and health and garbage all being run by dogs. And so here we see Chase, who's been kicked off the force for maybe asking too many questions. We're going to build up the sketch here. Now that we have our pose, we're going to go deeper into what we have started here. We're going to build out the dog expression and get some cool fashion on this character. Like I said, Chase has been kicked off the force, and now he's probably on the run from the corrupt dog cops. I don't know. I'm not anti-cop. I just think all of Paw Patrol is ridiculous, and yeesh. The one who probably bears the most responsibility is the dog who was dressed as a police officer and was enacting the traffic laws primarily. But still, And so here we can see we've got that sort of like scowly jaw, look of determination. And of course he's wearing a fedora, because you can't be a private eye without wearing a fedora. I think that's one of the keys to getting your like private eyes license. I of course forgot to get his ears in here, because I think he's a Rottweiler. Is that the kind of dog he is? I don't know. You tell me. We're gonna get him some more teeth, I think, as well. Really just build out the character. And of course he's wearing a trench coat, because again, I think it's part of the requirements of being a private investigator, that you gotta wear at least some level of trench coat. But you know, he never lost his love of, you know, following the rules. Even though he has to live under the law, he still wears his tie. He still, you know, is out for justice and for good. He just needs to find a way to do it within this corrupt system. And he needs to take it all down. And so you can see here we're getting in some belts, some pants, and all the good stuff to make him a good boy. Oh man, I love a good gritty reboot. I love just pretending to think about a show or an idea, a story, and just say what makes it tick and how can we shift it so that it tells something new within the parameters of the story. And so, you know, we're working here on our lovely Chase, who's running, by the way. That's a little tongue-in-cheek joke there. Chase is running. He's on a chase or being chased. It's very funny. The fact that I'm telling you that it's funny really gives away the fact that it's funny. We got almost everything we need here for this character now. We just have to give him his primary weapon, his gun, and of course, you know, when drawing hands and arms and things, it gets real messy. So we're just sort of working our way through the style and design here, trying to figure out what exactly this arm would be doing. If he's running, where does that put the arm? What's he doing with his gun? Is it forward? Is it upwards? I don't know, so I just abandon it and move on to something else instead by the looks of things, because that's what good art is. Abandoning one thing to try something else for a little while so you can come back and get closer on your next attempt. Which we do here as we draw in the loose shapes of a paw and a gun and a sleeve, and we've got everything we need for our gritty reboot of Chase. It's game time, and this week we're playing a game called Blob Job. That's right, we're playing a game called Blob Job. I have a blob that I drew on a piece of paper, and I'm going to turn it into something. Can you guess what it is before time is up? Let's see if you can do the Blob Job. And with that, we are now getting our line art in here. We have a pretty solid foundation. We spent a lot of time working on the sketch and the pose for this one, which means it's just a matter of trying to land in the detail of this pose, clean up a few ideas to make them a little bit more readable on paper. And as you'll see, we got a real good dog look here that I'm really quite proud of. I think I tried to give him a cigarette for a little while, but I don't think it ends up staying. There's something about the private eye smoking the big cigarette or cigar that was really sort of appealing as an idea, but it just didn't really work. I didn't draw it for a cigar, and that meant that it wouldn't really fit. But hey, we gotta try ideas in order to see what comes of them, and so yeah, we're pushing on here through our design. The nice thing about a sketch at this point is that we've already drawn a lot of the shapes that we need, which means that we can build it slowly and surely from the ground up, which means we can focus on certain areas that need to be drawn in first, and then build on top of them like we are here with this jacket. Whereas before we drew the jacket lines first, now we're drawing them last on this side of the body. And yeah, really great, fun vibe here on this detective dog, Chase. Getting his gun together here. I don't really draw weapons that often, certainly not like guns, so I went and looked up a reference for like a revolver that feels like the private eye gun, and this is the best I could do, and it's fine, right? I don't have to be a master of every single thing that I do. I get to just draw the things that I like and like the things that I draw and go from there. I think I actually redraw this once I reshape the hand. But yeah, you know, you just try your best, do your best, and move forward from there. We're going to do some more Paw Patrol characters this week. We've got a few more in the chamber ready to go. If you have ideas for how to make this Gritty Reboot better, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. I'm sure some of you out there have watched too much of this show, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's time for the dad joke, bad joke. My dad sends me a joke every single day in WhatsApp, and I collect them up so I can share them with you. And we're doing some dog jokes for our Paw Patrol. And we've got this. What kind of dog likes taking a bath every day? What kind of dog likes taking a bath every day? A shampoodle. A shampoodle. What kind of dog likes taking a bath every day? A shampoodle. Dad joke, bad joke. Let's get back to the art. And with that, it's time to get some color here on our Paw Patroller. Now, rather than making it entirely bright, we need to do a little bit of desaturation for these characters and these ideas. So you can see here, he is getting like a brown and blue kind of style with a white shirt. Very police officer-y, but with a bit pulled back from the bright colors. We want him to be this grizzled, hardened detective. And so that means he's not the bright child he once was when he served on the force originally. Again, he was a puppy. That's a child. Police officers? This is not reasonable. And he's trying to fight for justice now. And maybe save Adventure Bay from the corruption therein. We got our color in here. All we have to do now is get our shadows and some highlights, and we will be ready. Of course, we got to get that sort of fur pattern of this kind of dog, which I can't remember what kind of dog he is, but he's a good boy. Even if the force is against him. We'll get some shadows and some highlights on here, and I will bring you the final reveal of our Chase in our Paw Patrol Gritty Reboot. And that is our Chase from our Paw Patrol Gritty Reboot. I hope he sets the tone for this week. We're going to add him here to our Paw Patrol Gritty Reboot page where we'll add every character we draw this week. We have 4 more characters that I've worked on. We're going to be putting out every single day this week, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And yeah, it's super fun to share with you this Chase. Speaking of sharing art, we have an art gallery. I would love to see your art. All you have to do is join the Discord down below, become a member of the Doodle Croodle, and show us what you can doodle. It would be awesome. Speaking of which, we have an art prompt every single day to help us get the juices flowing. And I've started now to do like vibes. So singular words that inspire art. So you don't have to do specific, you can just do the vibe of a thing. And today the thing is pumpkin-y, something that is pumpkin-y. That's the vibe for our art today. If you have something that you would like to share with us, I would love to see it. It doesn't have to be the prompt, but it can be. Either way, thank you so much for being here. We're at the end of our video, which means it's time for us to remember the one rule of my Sketchy Habit, which is really our Sketchy Habit, which is don't tell anyone about our Sketchy Habit. Please, I'm begging you, don't tell anyone. That's between you and me. Thanks for being here, friends. Until next time, keep being awesome. Bye!